Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
Bail Faker out there, but Faker actually having a really nice start in this game. So the big bounce back. You love to see this after the GOAT has had some mediocre early games. Not this time.
Well, Grand Starfall going to come in here as the equalizer goes down from Rich, but I don't think he's going to survive. Does take a while for him to go down, and Doran ticking, but still has 100 health, so he is going to be A-OK. First blood as he just kills the wave.
This could be a trick, though. Good ward from Doran.
Yeah. Oh, Shock Blast almost just killing Lazy Phil, and thankfully for Lazy Phil, he walks onto... Okay, there's the flash, and the answer does come through. There's the headbutt from Andil! Down he goes! Oh no! Doran absolutely baited. Still does get done, and it is a very even trade. As, look at this, the arcane-powered Tibbers just attacking the GOAT over and over. And that is going to be T1 locking down the Dragon. Flash pole onto 3, though. Deadly Flourish comes down. Equalizes fantastic. Featherstorm buying so much space, though, as Gumayusi looks for an opportunity with the Flash. But now has gone a little bit too far, or has Sponge, who goes untargetable and just says, I'm an Ascendant. He will do so. The bleed's ticking, but not ticking enough. And Protect the President is in full effect, as Gumayusi will survive.
Yukal does not have teleport, doesn't join the fight. Decides to push for plates instead. I saw the angles there for DRX, but the play on the side of T1 was just too good. And now Owner shows up with his ultimate. Lazyfield gonna get stunned.
Yep, flash on in as Gumayusi maybe didn't need to be there, but Deadly Flourish was definitely not gonna land. So down goes the Jhin.
Because, yeah, you can still, it's very simple, like you said, and we've talked about so much with Annie, but if the Annie doesn't get the kill,
This is a special stake delivery here, as Andil is going to be providing it. T1, all three of them just around the dinner table. Deathray will be able to secure it, and I'd say that's medium rare.
Yeah, most people like...
I think maybe with the fact that the cast came down first, do we call that sous vide?
I guess so, yeah.
You know, because it may not necessarily be warm. As okay, teleport in. See whether Rich can find an angle here as the equalizer goes down. Carrier and Doran now to walk up the red carpet, and they do just walk. And now Rich is the one that's out of position. Yukal came in, but is able to walk out. Had to invest the teleport in a play that isn't necessarily working. Let's see whether we find ourselves a stun, as it doesn't quite work. Gumayusi in trouble though, and he will just burn down. So finally they get their prize that they've been looking for oh so long. And Gumayusi does go down, but they have to trade it for this outer turret on the top side of the map. Faker will be taking that. That will secure feats of strength here for T1.
I think the thought process for T1 is while Faker doesn't have teleport, he could just call, all right, just delay the fight there. We have a Pantheon ult. He can join in instantly, and I'll get this turret. Unfortunately, Guma, the angle here from the Annie, right? This means that Carrier and Doran have to walk up as we're actually going to live, where Rich is...
Yeah, he's flashing on Faker. Sponge is moving in, but there's another teleport. Owner is already here. Rich is definitely dead, guys. And Sponge is just going to walk himself out of there. Did not need any
we get the turret, and first blood, that ship is our first brick has already sailed that ship, so Doran?
Well, he is going to go to the skies, and so is Sponge. He's just dead. Doran just locks him down. That was a very strange situation, and I would think
as he thought maybe he was safe there. Didn't flash, but did, of course, pop. Now Faker's looking for another turret here on the bottom side, as T1 have really just grabbed hold of this game. It doesn't look like they're going to let it go.
Yep. That's Mountain Drake going on down. They're kind of just taking everything. Cloud Soul, because it is, of course, T1. They are the most trustworthy team in the LCK when it comes to topside. Let's have a look once again. As Doran was just tracking the doggo and then finds it.
I think he knows which camps are up. That must have been communicated, because otherwise, why would you chase Nefarious? She just walks to the top safely. He's probably just going, all right, Sponge is low, but he still wants to clear his camps before he backs. I'm going to catch him greeting. And he played it super well.
Yeah. And didn't even say anything there.
No.
Ice cold there from Doran. Eyes on the prize as T1 looking to start off this Rift Herald. Let's see whether DRX can find themselves an angle. There is Faker getting engaged on. The equalizer is down, and I think he is going to be dead. The rest of T1 now trying to escape as the Featherstorm going to get the flash out as well. Gumayusi
Blast Cone
uses all of his utility, and there is Yukal with the engage. Guma goes down after Owner. That's a lot of shutdown opportunities, and now Carrier, nowhere to go, has a cask. So that might buy him some space, but the rest of them are just going to be killing Rich. These stuns from the Annie set up really, really nicely, especially in this moment.
It's going to come down right now, in fact.
Lazy Feel, pretty aggressive positioning here, as I would be a little careful. Carrier comes in and reminds him exactly why, but they're going to try and turn it. Andil goes in. He is traded. Actually, he doesn't even go down. The curtains have now been called. And Gumayusi, you better dance. And he doesn't get out of the last couple. Ona puts up the wall. But I think DRX have pushed them away from this Dragon now and might be able to grab their first of the game.
Really nice flash there from LazyField. Played the fight really well there. His ult was well angled too. Rich on the chase there, forcing Guma's ult out, and that's a Dragon here for DRX. They get the kill on Carrier as well. I think ideally they would have liked more kills on top of it, but I think they'll definitely take the prize. The top turret did go down anyways after Rich left.
Oh,
now LazyField, no cleanse, no flash.
LazyField, you're not allowed to farm the mid lane. We've spoken about this already. There's Andil looking for a bit of an angle here, but Sponge going in. Rich turns up as well. Now the real damage gets in there. As over the wall goes the doggo. And thankfully they're going to be okay, as there is the pulverize onto two. Doran burning down, and Yukao collects the kill. Tibbers is going to lie down, but I think that is absolutely fine. You did your job, big old bear.
Yeah. Is it the bear in the bush is worth 2 in the kill feed? Is that the
Yeah, I think that's the saying. It's kind of an old-fashioned one.
Going in here, doesn't have his ult yet. If he had his ult, I think there's a real angle. But he does not, so I think it's just going to be that trade of kills. At least they got something back, though. It looked like a big mistake from LazyField, which frankly I think it was. But it can work that way, and
yeah,
worked that way
theoretically,
yesterday.
yeah, it can certainly give you a little bit of a it could be worse type scenario. As this turret, not long for the world, Gumayusi able to walk up and take that one down without too much
as well. Like this is a big fight.
Yeah, and this is big lethality on the Jace as well. These shock blasts going to really hurt us. That's just chain CC, and yes, he manages to go up into the Featherstorm, and that just doesn't really do anything. So Gumayusi just caught in mid lane. A little bit of what...
Yeah, it's going to be a really hard fight. Doran needs to hit a big shock blast, but he can't hit what he can't see. Might just have to toss it in, and he does. Hits Sponge.
Yeah, Sponge not going to be too worried about it as Yukao on a flank angle. And Tibbers is just being really frustrating. There's the equalizer as DRX look for the turn. The curtain call, unanswerable right now, but the bullets aren't really landing. And Rich also getting attacked by the Baron. He's out of there. Andil's also going to be taken down at T1. They answer the fight really nicely. Now they're looking for even more, but should they? Is the question. Ona says absolutely we should. As in goes Sponge and out he goes via the Death Chamber. As LazyField wanted to offer some damage back, putting some miles into the Infinity Edge that he picked up as he gets a big old shield, and Ona just going to be able to dance forward. Stun comes down, Faker finishes off the Jhin as Doran moving on over. Yukao almost in range, doesn't have flash though. As T1, DRX thought that they had an opportunity. They killed Gumayusi and things looked great, and then they bit off a little more than they could before they have any meaningful advantage in this game. Puts T1 in a fantastic position as Carrier goes for it once again. Cast just going to knock Rich into the wall, and there's nothing he could do. He gets the equalizer off, but that is all we can really say about that. Unbreakable Will now on cooldown for Andil, but he still gets taken down halfway, and this is what I was talking about. T1 now just able to get picks, translate that into full map control, and DRX are just going to fall further and further behind. And a bunch of extra stats now as this Thornbound Otacon is also going to be taken.
If they all walked into Yukao where he had his Tibbers stun prepped, you know, maybe there's a world where that goes awry, but once they got a few kills and they were like, Yukao's missing, he can't come to us, we have control vision on all of these. The Annie is like 2-0 and 5, almost has a full set of Dark Seal, Death Cap. I mean, if he could hit a big stun or the fight goes longer.
Well, Ona's going to go in. This might be a bridge too far, as Sponge not going to get pushed away by that. Cask and Andil is just holding them in place. Can Ona get over the wall? That's the question. As Gumayusi says, it does not matter. He can go where he wants because I am massive, and he absolutely is. There's the double kill for the Xayah. And Gumayusi, I think, is a little upset that he died a million times in the early stages of this game and is going to finally get his revenge.
Has been winning a lot of their series this season, hasn't it? It's been Atlas. Whether it's a Xin Zhao pressing an R, Pantheon putting up a shield, that is going to be a Baron here for T1.
Doran just walks from behind LazyField's tower. Thankfully, he's got some Cloud Rift to try and utilize, and Doran, I don't think he's going to be too worried about that one. Never mind, they're not going to dive.
And he just gets to clean up. Faker denies anyone else from following up, and, you know, focusing on Pantheon, the only option DRX had, but it wasn't going to be successful. Is now Owner's level 18.
Yeah, that's a 3-level lead. This Doggo not looking too hot right now. Although it is a hot dog, so it's a bit weird. Probably should be at least warm.
More like a chili dog right now.
Yeah, definitely chili. That's okay. Lazy Phil, can he protect that? Oh dear. Yukal not going to quite find the Tibbers angle. Kind of tells the story of this series a little bit as Grand Starfall comes in. Decent cap jack there from Lazy Phil, but I don't think it's going to save his life. His spear will be avoided, and so maybe Owner is not going to be able to get that one done. Still, he survives, and they take down Rich as well. And DRX just a little too far behind, ladies and gentlemen. T1, they've scaled into this game, and they are going to utilize that to take down this Nexus here in game number 1. Lazy Phil just going to have to dance away from some of these skill shots as he watches his Nexus explode, and I don't even think he's going to be able to do that because Carrier decides that he's worth killing. Let's do it. These 1-3-1s pretty devastatingly in side lanes. Yeah, exactly right.
And I do think that in the past, I would have... I still think it's refillable.
Does Boris refill it for you before he gives it to you? Like, is it sort of like a...
I think it's
like if you get a bottle of water at a restaurant?
I think it's sealed on purchase. The sponge is up here, but can't do anything. So yeah, back to... Oh, hold up.
Yeah. Yukal not going to get hit by the Dustbringer as Seismic Shove comes through, but the charm was in the air, and Yukal just walks towards Faker and dies.
Yeah, that looked very funny. It almost looked like the charm just had an insanely long... Played it greedy. Sponge is going to come over here and potentially challenge this Drake, but with no mid-prior of the wave crashing, I don't think this is realistic.
Well, there's a bit of a battle towards the bottom side as Carrier going down very, very low. Faker thinking about moving on over to defend that one. As level 5s for both of our junglers, Yukal will be able to skate his way over here. The Dragon is down low. It will be a smite fight, won by Owner for now, as he'll have to flash to get himself out of the way. But Andil, he's going to follow him. The Weaver's Wall comes in, and they all pile in on top of the Nocturne, and he will be seismically shoved into the Death Chamber. Faker now moving back towards mid, and DRX will be able to try and find some of the spoils as Sponge transforming into Owner will be able to take his Gromp.
These are the Andil games, you know, where you're like, oh, I see the angles. I see why this guy got his starting position back, because they're looking for more here now into the bottom lane.
Oh dear, there's a flash immediately by Gumayusi actually, as Carrier is the one that's going down very low. Andil able to get himself out of there, but Sponge is just dead, and that was a whoopsie.
I mean, trying to dive in Nautilus can be very difficult, as we know. And as DRX were reminded, even maybe zoning away the bottom duo instead. Sponge is going to be able to take this first grub without using Smite.
Yeah, so grabs that one. Carrier just going to stun up Andil just for a moment as he's pulling him back in, being a little bit frustrating, and Andil going aggressive. Doran moving over as Rich trying to defend, but the Q finds absolutely no one, and Andil is just dead. Can they get anything in response? That's the question, as Seismic Shove will connect onto Gumayusi, and Rich, he's going to survive. They're looking a little worse for wear. Teleport has just come back up, though, as the Grubs move back into the pit. Lazy Phil positioned here in this mid lane, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend as these Grubs are taken by T1. They should be able to get two of them, as never mind.
I don't know if they should, but they're going to.
Yep, Carrier sitting in this brush here. True Shot Barrage not going to hit anyone, and there are both of those Grubs going down. In goes the Scion as he's trying to get rid of Gumayusi, and that is an engage onto Lazy Phil if ever I've seen one. He just evaporates. Andil going aggressive, and Yukal trying to find a few windows as there's the flash in from Doran. Hextech ultimatum onto Sponge, but now he's just in the Thunderdome by himself. T1 kind of playing it well, being able to take one of them, but they lose their AD carry as well. And finally, they're able to take down Sponge. Rich now coming on in. He's now joining the rest of T1. These health bars are so low that nothing's landing from DRX. They can't get any of the kills.
They don't have enough damage here. Without Lazy Phil, I just don't think you can win that longer skirmish. Ends up being a trade, but a trade up for T1 again. Now 2,000 gold ahead in this game. Faker sitting on 3 kills and 6 stacks of Dark Seal.
It looked like the idea from DRX in some of these moments was good, but I guess losing Andil here was unnecessary.
Well, Faker can also keep Lazy Phil out of the initial part of the fight.
Oh no, Mystic Shot going wide is a disaster, and Gumayusi walks up to him and shoots him.
That one was gonna transpire.
Yeah, we saw the real thing at the end there, and so it was comfortable to surmise, not comfortable to watch again, as that max range hook just gorgeous. Down goes Mr. Sponge. He couldn't even flash or ult or anything. He was just dead. I mean, there's a difference between confidence and recklessness.
Yeah, there's starting to give me some like 2022 Live Sandbox feels right now.
With in the jungle as well. And that has continued to be a little bit of a problem here. Solar Flare will be able to lock down Faker. Seismic Shove is some nice chain CC. There we go. Here's the uptick from the DRX. And now, let's see whether the down tick is happening immediately. The flash hook, not going to quite find the mark, but I don't think they're out of the woods just yet as, oh god, depth charge going to come on through as Yukal's in trouble. Does have to flash and does do so, but the double up almost murders both of them. Does manage to get the kill onto Yukal, and there we go. The ebbs and flows of DRX, ladies and gentlemen. They get a kill onto Faker, and then they lose two.
Yeah, well, it's the traditional Faker dies, but then you win the fight style is over here. Unstoppable
until
hit
the wall.
Yeah, there's a stoppable moment there.
A little stoppable.
Slightly stoppable.
I think Faker is pretty charming, and he is going to prove that as Rich just going to get taken out. The Zombie Scion going to see what he can do about this wave, and Gumayusi down towards the bottom side. This is really gone out of control. Words that I'm using to describe how big it is. I think just big is enough. As Doran is going to go in onto Rich here. I don't know what I was talking about there. As okay, Faker not going to get shoved. And there is the paranoia. Down goes Yukal. And DRX, it's just really feeling like they're looking a little lifeless here in this game.
It's just hard when you're behind into this comp because Nocturne can be everywhere. Ahri can follow up so quickly. And now trying to even contest for this Herald feels like a pipe dream.
Yeah, LazyField going to get engaged on here as he does cleanse. Tries to get out, depth charge following him there, but he invests the flash to try and keep himself alive. Sponge standing on so much vision as they do get rid of the Rift Herald. Dredge line goes wide, so does the Charm. T1, they're happy with what they got though, as Doran just really starting to run away with his side.
Big F-Sword in his inventory, and he was ready to fight that. And it's just moments like this where you kind of forget Nocturne can be in your side lane instantaneously, but if you just play respectfully, then you just lose control.
Oh, I've seen this play before, as this time Faker does not get stunned up by the Solar Flare.
TP.
And Andal is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Teleport comes in from Doran, as Gumayusi may even be delivered the kill. Never mind, it goes to the GOAT. Faker's like,
so like I said before, this is the kind of game with Andal where you're wondering, like, maybe is Pleta coming in the next series?
To speak of here at the moment. Oh, they did get a dragon. So there's that, as Doran is going to take a turret shot or two. Never mind, he's got a hook shot, so he's just fine. Faker now getting to work here towards his bottom side. They already have feats of strength, but if they didn't, they could get them again by locking down that first turret. There it goes. And even more money into the coffers of T1. Gumayusi moving forward towards LazyField, who's just trying.
Coming at me.
Yeah, what are they doing? And the thing is, I think a lot of people have learnt that focusing Faker in a side lane to the detriment of everything else is generally not a great strategy, as Doran looks for Sponge, and it doesn't work.
This could backfire.
I think it may already have backfired, as Faker is also dead. Sponge grabs another reset. This is where it's fine. As T1 take down the inner turret and this one as well.
Faker die inside and you get the cross map win is another archetype, because there's a Faker die inside, win the team fight. There's Faker die inside.
It'll be impossible to kill. It's only Faker that does magic damage on this squad, and Ahri isn't necessarily known for being super
T1.
Right. And DRX not quite being able to do so here, as the Archon has been started. Can DRX find any angles here as the paranoia comes on through, and down goes Yukal once again. This guy's Talia has looked great, but yeah, I'm starting to doubt my memory right now.
Unfortunately, I think the issue is just you're not allowed to be by yourself ever into this Nocturne, even if they are doing Otacon, because they'll just collapse on you, and Owner just so good at that. And now they can just go straight back to the Otacon. Keria on this really cool flank here as well, as Faker shows up with his ult.
Yep, depth charge going to get a couple of knockups here as Sponge being held out of the Otacon pit. Keria will be taken out though, and now T1 rotating over yet again. Scion finds the knockup as Doran is dead once more. And now Faker just doing what he can to try and stay in this, and maybe I spoke too soon. The flash to try and get the knockup, but it's a great spell shield, and now Ona looking to try and turn it. This Scion is just massive on this front line though, and Yukal has respawned. The wall comes on down, Ona is singled out, and Rich turned into a zombie, but I think he's well and truly done his job, and I take it all back. Maybe I did really need to talk about that scaling aspect, but this Scion starting to look a bit strong.
Also, I think T1, I really like Keria. And now DRX are going to get it.
Yeah, the response is this Otacon, as Paranoia does come down. That is Sponge securing it. As now Doran trying to get in there. Owner is well and truly in there. I don't know about whether he wanted to be. As the charm comes down, Faker is cutting them all down. Both of the DPS have been eliminated. And Faker is just looking to kill everyone. Gumayusi grabs a piece of it, and Andil is going to be going down next. Gumayusi trying to get out of the way of Rich, who's just not someone that he is able to kill. And Faker will hunt down this Leona. T1, the punishment was immediate, as the Foxfire is going to be able to cut him out, as Gumayusi just spending some time outside of the queue. And yeah, as you can see, Gumayusi does need armor penetration if he ever wants to kill Sion. Look at that. Rich cannot die, by the way, guys, basically, as finally he does go down. And there goes
he gets a double?
Gumayusi. Does he get a double?
No, I don't think so.
The health bar is going down lower and lower and lower, and Carrier will be able to secure it. So there we go.
Be able to get the smite seal. Might have just been a flip. You know, he has his ultimate. They get the vision just barely in time. This is just very silly. He unfortunately channeled his ult just too close to Rich there.
It felt like it was the Titan's Wrath from Carrier that actually managed to do damage to Sion, because that's like on-hit magic damage. As Carrier does hit the 5,000 assists, and he's also rewarded with a kill for his efforts, as we saw there towards the top side. As Doran getting closed in on here by Yukal, as over the wall goes Sponge. Doran is going to then flash into Andil and gets immediately stunned. So there is a nice little advantage to be taken by DRX.
Rich TPing in. They don't want to turn this into a Baron call.
Yeah, how do you feel about a 4v5 Baron start?
Well, I've seen this before, but I think this time they'll make better decisions about it, right? This time they're all in the pit. Faker flank.
Yeah. I'm all about that optimism as well, as in goes Carrier looking for that angle. Once again, Yukal is singled out and destroyed, and T1 just making it an uncomfortable time in the Baron pit. This time it's an immediate triple kill for Faker. Can he find more? The answer is absolutely, as the GOAT may pick up a Penta, and in fact, he almost definitely will. He's the only one that does damage to the Sion, so there's the Penta kill for Faker.
Faker with a Penta, and it's just perfect play on the Sari. 15 kills. And once again, he doesn't care about your front line. He doesn't care about your Sion. He's finding those damage dealers in the back.
They might catch him aware.
Yeah, he's aware.
That could be the way. That's all right. Spell Shield, not going to get that value as the knockup does come on in. The crash into the Nocturne as True Shot Barrage doesn't connect. But now the bullet time is going to cut down Sponge so quickly. Lazy Field, he's not getting out of there. And down he goes. T1 just a little bit too far ahead now as Yukal. He's going to come in, but he's kind of like Donald Glover, holding the pizza with his house on fire. As Rich is a zombie, and Faker is not even going to let Yukal get out of this one. He is going to get charmed and destroyed. There's another ace for T1. And you've got a bit of a palindrome when it comes to the score lines here. 13-31. T1 very happy about that, as they're looking to close this one out 2-0 right now.
Yep, that's the end of that. Owner's like, all right, Xinjiao, our button can't get hurt.
Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LCK Spring 2025.
About doing even more, and you were mentioning the priority. Well,
yeah, they don't.
Chovy just gets to walk in. Oh no. Gideon, you're not allowed to do this. Charm is going to connect. That means that he cannot get out of the way. The flash forward, and Chovy picks up the first blood. And it was like they got ran over. Gets the news that he's not even going to have to worry about getting a smite timing. Genji going to be walking in at the same time. The close-in from Genji is so scary. Hook going to connect there onto Lehens. But he backs away. Keen's moving over. There's an equalizer from Kingen, but now he's going to get closed off. Still, they dive on towards Canyon, who flashes over the wall, tries to get towards Kingen to get out, but that is not going to help him. Empress Divide onto Chovy as they boop away Gideon. These Nongshim health bars are going low, but they're standing up in this team fight really nicely. Kingen getting over as well. He is still looking aggressive. The hook is going to be returned, though, and Ruler just takes down his former bottom lane partner. Extendo Beam not able to take down Keen, but the Grubs are trying to. Ruler might have to try and get out of here, and Jiu's going to be able to get a kill. I don't know about that one from Ruler, and Gideon doesn't even fall. It's a double kill for the Zeri.
I'm going to certify it. I'm going to the fight as well. It wasn't just like they gave it the whole objective to win.
Well, Jiu's going to come on in as Duro. That buffer was gorgeous. Gideon unable to use the Keeper's Verdict, and Keen wants to go to the skies. That anchor didn't quite work out there, and to the skies comes down again, and now Jiu's just going to kill both of them.
I don't think it's normally allowed to certify twice, but guess what? I'm going to do it.
No, you have to re-up your certifications.
Yeah, not really the big spike he's looking for necessarily to crush a team fight despite the lead that he has, but Genji 2 Dragon lead.
Moving on in here. If he steals this away, that's also feats of strength. As Keeper's Verdict goes completely wide. Canyon walking down the equalizer, though, is a little dangerous. He is just going to tank it to see what he can get done. As Gideon down very low, the Dragon forgotten about by Nongshim. They'll just give that up, but they do manage to back away.
Yeah.
So Soul Point does go to Gen G.
They feel really comfortable with their position. They're holding on to that vision control. But if they just kind of back away from Otacon and Nongshim keep farming, Nongshim did not start Otacon, then it gets a little more stressful. They're starting Otacon, however.
They are indeed starting Otacon. You can see there's a lot of armor and magic resist now missing from Gideon and Jiu.
They're committing.
Yeah, Keeper's Verdict comes down, and the buffer is gorgeous. Down goes Gideon, and now it is just a matter of one smite from Canyon. He goes in, he grabs the Otacon, and now he's on top of Jiu. Will the knockup come on through? The flash out from Kingin, and they are just trying to keep as many alive as they can. But Nongshim, you didn't need to do that.
No, you didn't need to do that. And I get the idea, because fully and kind of wipe away some of the scaling aspects we've been talking about with the lead they have is to commit to the Otacon there like that. As Chovy.
Yep. He is elected that it's Xerxes that's going to die, as Mega Blast Cone does bring Chovy into the Dragon Pit. This is Chemtech Soul, though, ladies and gentlemen. And Chovy is dashing over walls, looking for some opportunities. Empress Divide's going to throw him back, and it's Canyon that's the target. He throws down the ulti, the equalizer not going to connect, and Canyon somehow survives! Chovy is tanking 2 people, though that's another kill going over to Jiu, as Arula gets hit by the extendo beam. But the fact that Canyon lives really keeps Gen G in with a shot as far as this Dragon is concerned.
There's no ults here for Nongshim. I don't know if they can actually fight this without Jiu's especially, but with no equalizer, Kingin's gonna have to do some big heavy lifting. He's charging up his heat, and he wants to go in.
Yeah, well, he gets in, he mega codes into the backline as they just evaporate him. Jiu trying to stand his ground. These are some low health bars, an opportunity for the Zeri. Gideon goes in, and down he goes as well. And Jiu, he was a one-man army in the early game. And unfortunately, it's not enough later on. As Ruler tanking up this Chemtech Dragon will be able to take that one down.
Wins the fight for them.
And you know what the worst thing is? It's now easier for him to do it. As Chovy goes in, the charm is blocked by Lehens, and yeah, my heart would go on. Will go on is what I had in my mind there as the Alistair makes the sacrificial. Looking for that opportunity as never mind. Actually, no, it was Hex Flash, and now he has his real flash up. Calyx is going to be able to grab some bounty gold by taking out this outer turret on the bottom side of the map. Calyx trying to dissuade Canyon from diving underneath the turret solo. I don't think he would have done it necessarily, especially with Gen G able to push for free here in this mid lane. Creating those man advantages, getting in there, getting control of the jungle. And Nongshim really looking a little worse for wear in this game.
And, I mean, this is just turrets falling like they're nothing, like they're made of paper into a 3,000, now 4,000 Red Bull Baron power play here for Gen G. 8,000 gold the lead. And they're just fishing for any pick. A kill onto a carry means the game ends. Waves are crashing through. Land's looking for an angle.
They feel like they may have identified something here as Canyon throws down the ulti. He's trying to keep himself alive. They're losing their base in response, but the jungler does go down. Now Calyx, a possible angle here, but he is just anchored up and destroyed. Great charm there from Chovy to start it all. And so that spells the end of the inhibitor. It evens it out to a 4v4. And Nongshim, they're already so far behind. Gideon goes in. The equalizer is desperate, but it is on the right position. Ruler going kind of crazy here against you, who just kills him. What? The prediction from Duro! Oh, give this man POM. Recency bias can get out of my video games. I want to write it down right now. This guy is so good. He lands another one. He may fall. He doesn't even die.
Duro, that was insane.
What?
I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said he was good at Nautilus, but that's not exactly the level of play I was expecting. I think that's not a Nautilus thing. That's just a genius God Gamer moment.
Well, he lands yet another hook. This time it is just a sad Kingin who is watching his Nexus explode. It does exactly.
How many deaths do you think Lehens has this game on the Elise? Ooh. I'm going 7+.
I was thinking 7+.
7+.
That was my immediate thought in my.
Very safely come over here for this game.
Oh no.
Yep.
Calyx gonna get jumped on. There's a flash. The flash taunt comes on out there as well. The Winds of War, and there is the shield, but the Colossal Smash. And Chovy, he could tank up that last turret shot. Oh god.
I think he was considering a flash Q on Jiu there.
Cocoon going to connect there as Ruler walking up once again. He's slowed as he flashes and just picks up the kill onto Jiu. Up into the air goes the Elise, and down goes Ruler, but that was a crazy play. Sort of made my brain explode a little bit as Keen will find a hookshot into Kingin. In the meantime, Canyon is killing Sejuani. And if you just, the auto was in the air, so there was no way that he was doing anything.
If Canyon gets, if he like...
Here's a dive on the top side of the map as the bailout not quite going to work out here as Gideon survives. And that's a kill going over to Kingin, and they'll also grab themselves a plate. As Keen gonna have to flash, he does manage to live, and Canyon's like, I guess I'll just kill him then. And he does. Gideon's gonna go down though, as now Duro is just fighting off multiple people. Lahen's trying to tank. Duro's able to drink most of his potion, and Kingin will finally get the auto reset to take him down.
I looked for a second like it was
That was so weird.
Kingin can't get me.
Keen not gonna be able to just hookshot onto a person. That's not how that kind of works, as now he might need to get himself out of here. Cocoon gonna connect though, and Keen survives for a little bit longer, but Gideon is just going to put him down. Flail to the back of the head is going to work there, and 10 seconds in the death chamber there for Keen. No teleport means that this dragon should go over to Nongshim pretty comfortably.
And kind of a weird setup there for Gen G, as they didn't have bottom side prio, they had mid prio, but Chovy didn't ult in, and then Keen just got cut off. It was really well played by Nongshim. Like, Nongshim were like, okay, well, Keen's trying to get in, we're not going to allow that.
Oh, goes down. Looks a lot like an...
we were discussing
it
yesterday if Perfect should just change his name to Chovy.
I really did like that bomb comment idea as the handshake comes on through. Hostile takeover is down as well as Lahen's. He's staying alive for a really long time. There are so many sticks into this Elise though, and he is just going to go down. Ruler will get immediately bailed out and then killed again, but he gets a double kill. Kingin, he teleported in. He's looking to see whether he can get even more in this game as Canyon wants to kill Gideon. The flash forward, he'll get his cries, and now he's inside the ghoulie wall. He gets so much of his health back though, and the shield comes in, and it's not enough to save him. The Maiden will be able to get rid of the Pantheon. Man, so similar to those Ouroboros things from that game.
It's a very close game in terms of the gold. The problem is that 3 kills are on a Sejuani and 3 kills are on a Yorick. That's the kind of lines I'm seeing here. It's like, okay, they got something back. It's just not really feeling great as TP is being committed to.
Yeah. Oh, the Justice Punch angle was gorgeous. As now Kingin trying to stay alive, and Keen, he can tank up that turret just long enough. Even the Maiden is going to be put down as Gen G will eventually win out on that trade and put themselves 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, and look at the lane setup. Well, we won't be able to look at it until we go back to live and it'll be missed. But my point is, after all of this, Victor is still pushing bottom, or can't push bottom side, so they don't really lose anything from the play. This is just really good play and trust between Duro and Ruler in a fight like this. Canyon shows up, Ruler puts the sticks in, has the bailout, and then here...
In the meantime, Duro is dead. And back to your usual programming.
So now Calyx actually did get the push here into the bottom lane, so he's going to pick up some plate gold as well.
Oh, Canyon is going to get cocooned. Ruler is over here though, Lahen's, oh dear. He is going to be able to hop on over towards, that was actually Ruler's little sentinel. That's very cute. As Keen just dives on top of Lahen's, and Lahen's is really dead. The approaching Chovy means that they cannot actually follow up on it, and so thanks for the leash, says Gen G, and they will be able to take down the Infernal Drake. How does... Well, full vision now picked up. They had that control ward in the pit. Kingin with the push though, as we can see, the Maiden helping out. Canyon just going to move on over and say thanks for the leash. That was odd. They pick up the feats of strength as there's the Glacial Prison. It connects onto Chovy though. He's capable of ignoring it. And Duro, he's going to buy some space there. That was a cute little repel attempt, but Lands is still so squishy and will go down. Chovy just walks into the middle of them. The Flash Justice Punch, down goes Gideon. And now even Keen is getting into it because he can deliver Chovy into the top lane. Kingin, he's not out of the woods just yet. Canyon comes on over and gives him a spear. And Gen G are just kind of styling on him now.
I feel like Canyon always has his empowered Q, like every single time.
I think it's the only version of the Q for Canyon.
Yeah, he comes up, he's like, I stacked it, and you're dead. Yeah, Gromp will survive it this time, but yeah, this is starting to be a bit of a circling up the drain as they almost have control here, right? But Gen G rotator faster, Chovy has teleport. Canyon had his ultimate, but he doesn't choose to use it. They play it super patiently as Ruler may be in trouble, maybe not.
Q is dead, Lahen's is dead, and then... What?
Renata Callista, 7-kill Callista.
Yeah, he really utilized the bailout attack speed in order to make that one work.
A shield on a 7-kill Callista.
Yep. We're remembering, aren't we? Why Ruler doesn't get to play this champion ever.
No, I think this was one of those games where probably shouldn't have allowed it. I think they're paying some of the consequences of that, but I think Gen G are just playing overall the better game, and we can nitpick all we want, but Gen G's not doing a whole lot of losing. They've only lost 3 games.
And both Gen G and HLE are going to have to keep up the lossless streak, as Ruler is going to be able to cleanse Gideon, and the Chains of Corruption just go wide. That's a lot of sticks. Fate's Call comes down, 3-man knock-up from Duro, and there is the ultimate as well. Jiu is going to get taken out, and Ruler is continuing to hop forward. Gen G, this combination, when it works, it looks so good. And Nongshim don't have an answer to it, as Keen is going to dive forward. Kingen is put into the Hextech ultimatum, and sometimes ultimatums really do feel bad. That one is certainly one of them.
I mean, we're 20 minutes in.
Break stuff.
Yeah, 20 minutes in, and Gen G are just like, can we end? 12 seconds here on this Varus. Calyx is at full health and should be able to clear this as Victor, although a Herald? Herald. Dancing Herald?
Oh god, we might get Dancing
Herald? Question mark?
That would be crazy! As Canyon's gonna get the first charge, the first Nexus turret will go down. Gen G is so far, it's a 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Shelly is not gonna be dancing because she is dead, unfortunately. And Nongshim's, you know, like, they respawn really fast because it's still quite early. Can't angle. As let's have a look at this one more time from Ruler's perspective.
The problem with the Sejuani that doesn't have any follow-up is that Ruler has cleanse.
Yep.
In live,
they're engaging onto Chovy. The level of possible that a successful outcome from that is quite low. As Otacon hasn't been started just yet. Duro's going to be the one to take the chain CC this time as Canyon moves in. They know that Duro is dead. He gets a nice little handshake though, as now Canyon going forward. I don't know about that one. He flashes away immediately. And Keen, he goes in, he finds the backline, but he ults Gideon just to try and break up this fight. And Gideon, he is definitely a killable target because they are so incredibly far behind. Keen now just on cleanup duty. He finds the hook shot as Calyx with a crying bee is going to be moving away from this. There's the Grand Starfall. He knew that he was dead. And a gargoyle delivery as well is going to come in as Chovy realizes that they can just walk in the front door because they've already destroyed most of this space.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy to just walk up and say, yeah, 21.5 minutes in. I think that sounds about right.
Is this the shortest game of this season?
I'm looking.
Because I think it might just be. I don't think we've seen anything sub 20 minutes. And yeah, this is an absolute shellacking. Ruler dancing around the Nexus will put the last stick in there. And damn, that was a statement game for